Good rising, brethren. This is Big Judah coming to you guys from California. Before I begin, give all praises to the Most High Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Prayer to the Most High blesses this lesson this afternoon, gives more knowledge and understanding of the events of the past, in order to understand the events that are currently happening on the earth. So we get a much better understanding of things that are soon to come on the earth. Brethren, I was talking to one of my brothers yesterday, and he said something that makes a whole lot of sense. Is that we have been beaten down so much that we are afraid to dream big. For hundreds of years, we've allowed our adversaries to pretty much dictate who we are, dictate what we deserve. And for such a long time, they have made it seem as if we deserve absolutely nothing, or we deserve to be at the bottom. And when we were going through our curses, of course that was the case. But even now that we're coming out of the curses, we still have a hard time dreaming big. Our Most High has everything in His hands, and He has the best plan for us. And that is something that we also need to be concentrating on as well. As we see the downfall of our enemies through the power of the Most High, we need to be looking forward to the positive things the Most High wants to give to us. Everyone's going to get exactly what it is that they deserve, our enemies as well. But we also need to spend time thinking of the fact that we are the Most High's chosen people. We have been chosen to be blessed at this time, and we have been chosen to be blessed eternally. And that is something that we don't talk about enough. But that is also because our adversary has made it so that we don't feel like we're like so many of us are deserving of being blessed or deserving. We haven't done anything to earn this, but we have been blessed nonetheless. And we want to thank the Most High every day and all day as much as we possibly can for the blessings that He is giving us. Everything is working itself out in the spirit world, and it's manifesting itself here in the physical world. And we need to, understand that the adversaries have gone out of their way to hide absolutely everything about us. If it was up to them, our beginning started with slavery, and then we've done nothing but just be slaves. And that's all part of the game. Even to this point, when you're seeing them on their way out, on their way down, we still are afraid to dream. We look at television, and you see all these commercials of it's mostly Gentiles and white people going on all these vacations and enjoying our lands and enjoying the fruits of this of our earth. But we know that very soon that's going to be us eternally. And I look at all the beautiful things and the beautiful things of the play and the places that they've gone to that I haven't had the opportunity to go to, and that's something that we should be thanking the Most High for, thanking Him for, thinking that we're actually going to be able to do that very soon, and that He's going to be blessing us with our lands, with all of the resources, the animals, peace, and prosperity. That's what we should be thinking about and looking forward to. Now, see, the enemy, I found something here I want to share with you guys, has gone out of his way to make it seem as if, you know, we were never here. No, and all the beautiful resources that were here were never ours. We never had anything, and that everything that was here was theirs. That's why you go here. You go to the walls of the temples in Mexico and South America, and tell me who is the indigenous American. They try to make it seem as if we were never part of this. They're always trying to give our blessing to others. They're always trying to give it to other people, or saying that these things aren't correct, these pictures aren't correct. But see, now that you understand that that's their MO. Okay, modus operandi. That's what they want to do with everything. It can never be you. It can never be us. Because then once you realize that this is us, then when you realize all the beautiful things that were here, that are still here, you start to realize that those are ours as well. Then you start to dream big. Then you start to think about, hey, I don't want just a nice house. I want a nice city. You know what I'm saying? I don't want just a nice car, or whatever else. I want the Most High to bless me abundantly. I want to be, I don't want to just have enough food for today. I want the Most High to be able to, bless us so that we have our Jubilee times, our years, where we're able to sit back and relax and praise the Most High and have time for family. I want to be able to raise kids, want to be able to, enjoy swimming in the water, not having to go to work 8, 12 hours a day, you know, just barely getting by. Want to be healthy so that the Most High can give us back all of the natural remedies that we used to have. That used to, we could take our whole lives. Start thinking about things in a much bigger fashion, and not just, what little crumbs can they give us here in this society. We don't want crumbs because we are the Most High's chosen people. We want it all, not crumbs. We don't want you just taking a knee and thinking that fixes 500 years of slavery. I don't need tokens sitting there and thinking they've done something now. I mean, they couldn't even take a knee when Colin Kaepernick was here. They didn't want to mess up their money. All of a sudden now everybody wants to take a knee. But when it was time to show and prove, when there might have been some retribution against you, they wanted nothing to do with that. So now these are just hollow actions now. Now all of a sudden they care about social justice when they had the Most High gave them the opportunity, to go out there and put it all on the line. And you saw how few did that. So people can take their little shallow judgment, their little shallow things, actions at this point. We don't care. Most High doesn't care because now it's safe. Now everybody's talking about taking a knee. But where were you at a few years ago? How they still talked about who we really are. They're still talking about us being black. They're still talking about us being African American. Most High doesn't want that. He wants people who are going to go out and represent for him. Talk about how we're the true Hebrews. We're the true people of the book. That's what the Most High wants. Not someone to take a knee at this point. But see, that's how they want you to do it because that's what they say now. Now they'll say, okay, well now it's okay, so now you'll do it. So like I said, just like they've taken, many of our inventions, many of the things that our people have made, have built, they want to take credit for all that. They want control, so they want to still control who you are, and most of these sports people are still letting them call us African Americans, black, Negroes. That's what they have set up. No, like I said, so as long as they can control our history and our future and who we are, they're happy with that. And with them doing that, that still keeps our dreams and our imagination of what the Most High is really going to do for us at a very low level, a very low frequency. I'm gonna show you a little something here about how they've been controlling, who we are, which then controls how big we dream. I was blessed. One of the subscribers sent me this book here. Thank you so much. You know who you are. I'm not going to say any names or anything, but thank you so much for sending this book. I'm going to share a little bit out of here. Fair Gods and Stone Faces, Ancient Seafarers and the New World's Most Intriguing Riddle. Just going to read a little bit. We're going to start here at the bottom real fast. How we're going to be talking about the Olmecs right now, okay? In Sterling's account, one fact above all amazes Sterling, okay, himself. Appropriately use the word in describing the giant head. The features are bold and amazingly negroid in character. So they know these faces you're going to see, these Olmec faces, are negroid in character, okay? Thus, Sterling conveys in a single word, never enlarged upon, uh, the astonishment that he and his colleagues must have felt as they stared at the round face, the wide nose, the thick, drooping lips, each unmistakably in its immensity and so skillfully carved that the negroid aspect could not possibly be ascribed to the artist's ineptitude. Okay. These guys are trying their best to not, like I said, they're trying to make up our history, like they always do. Okay. For if no Negro slave was ever transported into the New World before the advent of Columbus, How is one to account for these features? See, this is what's going on. Is they always try to make it seem as if they've had some hand in everything. And they want to make it seem like the only time that Negroids or Negro people were here was when Europeans brought them here. It could never be they were just here. I was watching that show. It was shared with me on the History Channel, talking about the Egyptian um, bull that they thought they found over here, and they were talking about how it must have been transported over here by the Celts. You see, it's always the same thing. It had to have been transported from over there in the three parts to over here. It could never be the fact that it was just already here. That's something that they will never admit to, that things were already here, but everything must have been transported. And I'm like, this dude took an hour or 45 minutes just going back and forth. He went over to Ireland. The guy said that wasn't, the one thing he showed him that it wasn't one of the people's writings or whatever else, but he still kept on going. And they found some other place that actually had, what was it? Archaeoastronomy. Now he's like, oh, that had to come from the Celts too. I was like, what the hell? I was like, archaeoastronomy is all over the buildings that are already over here that predate any of the Europeans coming over here, but they still try to attribute that archaeoastronomy to themselves. So when you understand that, when you watch these shows, even these history shows, they're always trying to push that everything came from over there in Europe, even though there's no proof, and there's way more facts that those things were built over here. But they're always pushing that everything came from over there. So wait till you see what these guys say here. Okay. So the guy looking like a Negro, but they don't want to admit that, of course. Okay. Because they're like, well, hold on, this is way before Columbus, so we had nothing to do with this, like always. But they're going to try to get themselves in there somehow. Okay. Obviously, the head antedated Columbus, so it came way before Columbus, and has been shown to antedate him by about 2,000 years. So this thing's been here thousands of years before Europeans got over here. All right. To be sure, some anthropologists believe, we get that whole thing, some anthropologists believe you're like, oh, they got to guess. That's all that it is. They are always guessing, and their guesses are facts. Our guesses aren't any good, but their guesses are facts. Okay. To be sure, some anthropologists believe that one of the very early migrations into the New World, perhaps 15,000 BC or before, was Negroid. So now, again, they had to come from somewhere else over here. They could have just already been here, but these guys come over here thousands of years later and give us their opinions and think that they know something. But it was apparent that no such age could be claimed for this head. Exactly, because they don't have any ages over there that will go with this head right here. Primitive men of the glacial and immediately post. Hold on here, quick. I want to read a little bit of this. Glacial period, moreover, were not given to carving human faces in the round and perfect proportions. So they already know people over there, because they can't be talking about the history of people over here thousands, 15,000 BC. They had no clue about absolutely anything. And all they're given is nothing but guesses, like usual. Okay. And if black men long ago wandered eastward, the breadth of the and northward and the length of Asia crossed to the New World via the glacial land bridge. And that land bridge is nothing but a theory as well. All that stuff is nothing but theories that have been debunked already, but they're still putting them in books. And then wandered southward nearly the full length of North America, the features would almost surely have carried the marks of racial intermixing during the long trek. It is inconceivable that racial intermixing would not also have occurred during the 15,000 years or so in the Western Hemisphere, dimming the characteristics further. How then to account for the presence of a Negro in Middle America and the millennium before Christ? And that's it. You guys can't come up with any viable options that all this traveling was going on. How about the fact that they were already here? How about the fact that you've hidden all of this information? But you guys don't ever want to do that. So more than 20 years have elapsed since a colossal head was discovered, and the question remains unanswered. Meanwhile, to get ahead of our story, other such heads have been found in similar ancient sites near the Gulf of Mexico, indicating that the person portrayed in stone at Tres Zapotes was no biological sport. Okay. Now check out what they do because they don't want to admit that these people are Negroes. Okay, so what do? Other archaeologists, warily circling around Sterling's frank use of the word Negroid, have termed the faces swollen and then infantile, until at length archaeologists settled on the nickname for all of the gigantic heads, calling them baby faces. You see, that's exactly what they do. They want to take away our history, take away our chance to dream big, to think big, and only time all your history is nothing but slavery. Okay, and they want to say true. The only proof that the heads are of Negroes lies in the eye of the beholder. Okay, so they can make it up however they want. It doesn't look like them, so now if it's Negro, it's in the eye of the beholder. And we know they don't want to behold any Negroes over here before they got here, so therefore they're going to change it up and call them baby faces. You see, and when you understand that that's what they've been doing the entire time, always erasing our history. It's in the eye of the beholder. And like I said, and those people, our enemies, don't want us to know who we are. So therefore, we know exactly what they do, what they've been doing. And even at this point, what they still continue to do. They try to hide absolutely everything about our history. Even when someone brings it up that we're the true people of the Most High, then they attack. They don't disprove it because they can't. They just attack, keeping us from thinking big with our power. Not just wanting the crumbs that these people want to offer us, but thinking big about the Most High and what He is going to give back to His people. Remember, these lands right here are a blessing. These lands right here are closer to the Most High, and they were kept, from the other nations for a reason. This is our heritage. This is our lands. These are our lands right here. Most High is about to give everything back to us. We need to make sure we're praying, thanking Him. I said, thank the Most High that we've come through, these hundreds of years, and that now He's getting ready to give everything back. We need to be, like I said, thinking big, like the Most High. Remember when Moses came the first time to the Pharaoh, and he used his staff, and he only made like the snake. And then when he went back, he was like asking the Father, he was like saying, I'm sorry, Father, for like using, your power in such a menial way. We got to think much bigger than that. Just like Moses had to learn to think big again because he'd been beaten down so long. We got to do the same thing. Think about making the Most High making big moves for us, not just little ones. Says He's going to renew us as a people, make us stronger than we could ever have imagined before, because we've been so broken down with diseases and being sick all the time that we don't know what it is to think of big things, think of having big, strong, healthy bodies. Most High is going to bless us with all that once again, make our people strong once again, strong minds once again, be able to think clearly, to being able to know and to have a much better relationship with the Most High by thinking big instead of just thinking so small. And as long as they keep our minds in such a low frequency and a low rate right there, it keeps us down as well. It says Most High, beautiful lands that the Most High is about to give us again, beautiful air, very healthy air, healthy water, healthy food once again. Brethren actually loving one another and working together with each other, men, women, children alike. Stop looking at our brethren with such an evil eye. And very soon we're going to have our brethren revealed to us, so that we can we can live the way the Most High, has set up for us to live. And the other nations know. I said the other nations know that once we are put back on top, that they're going to be able to live much better after they go through their punishment. However, the Most High works that out. So let's just, don't let the other nations dictate our history. Do the research, learn, think of the way our people were living before, and know that the Most High is going to give us that and much more. All praise is the Most High, Yahweh. Acknowledgement to the earthly mother, who is wisdom, who is the Holy Spirit. Acknowledgement to Yahweh Shai. Shalom.